this industry, a mistake that I think I've made and we've made together is in the past when we started, we would take anybody, we would take any volume, especially when we left the big company we were a part of and split off and did our own thing. We worked with anyone.
Almost every single time that we come across a representative or sales rep or a manager, and we ask them, hey, have you ever had a manager or leader that said, hey, where do you want to be and how can I help you get there? And 90% of them say no. Many people, especially in sales organizations, there's a lot of jealousy, or there's a lot of, oh, my pocket's this, or like, I want to keep them at that. If you keep someone in one position for too long, then they will leave your company if somebody offers them a position to be a leader or manager, because you are not doing that. And we will take those reps as well, because we will offer them the position to be a leader or manager if they never were offered that.
It's the 5 levels of leadership, right? Having the position, having the relationship, helping them with the production, and then developing the people. I feel like most people in solar stop at level 3. Welcome back to the 100 Mil Podcast. We got an amazing episode for you guys this week. We're going to talk about leadership principles that helped us get to where we are today, and the things that we're going to work on and continue to get better at in the future to continue to grow our businesses and impact and help 100 million people live a better life. So Hersh, if you want to go ahead and get started.
Let's get it going. I mean, I feel like it's been a while. Last time we were trying to do a podcast, but we didn't get the time to do it. We got everything all set up and then we just got a little busy.
Rug pulled out.
We got rug pulled. So
we rug pulled the podcast. The IT team was ready. We weren't ready to do it.
No, we weren't ready. Exactly. It happens, and that's part of leadership, because we had some stuff going on in business at the
Fires
time.
to put out, yes.
Yes. So speaking of which, I mean, there's a couple topics I think on leadership that we haven't fully touched on, and I think it's good to touch on. And one of them, I believe, is, having people in the organization understand, the vision that you're going in, but not just understand the vision that you're going in, but having discussions with leaders or next level potential leaders and asking them where they see themselves. Where do you see yourself in the next couple years? Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months? Where do you want to be? And especially because of the industry we're in, and we're in solar sales, solar leadership, solar dealer. So in this industry, almost every single time that we come across a representative or sales rep or a manager, and we ask them, hey, have you ever had a manager or leader that said, hey, where do you want to be and how can I help you get there? And 90% of them say no. 90% of them say no. My manager wanted me to not elevate because then they would make less money. Or they didn't want me to become a closer. They said I should stay a setter and do 16 XYZ deals before I can become a closer. Or they told me I'm a closer, but I need to install 100 deals before I could recruit somebody and make an override. So what I mean to say is that is like the closed fist mindset. That is the mindset of scarcity rather than growth. If a manager does better, he gets more margin. Yes, that eats out of our margin as the owners of the company, let's say per se. Or if you're a manager and you have a sales rep in your team and he does better and he becomes a manager, that you shouldn't look at it from a scarce mindset. You should have more volume. More volume means more stability. More volume, more stability will in turn give you more income. So I think far too often we see this in leadership, we see this in business, is that many people, especially in sales organizations, there's a lot of jealousy, or there's a lot of, oh, my pocket's this, or like, I want to keep them at that. If you keep someone in one position for too long, then they will leave your company if somebody offers them a position to be a leader or manager, because you are not doing that. And we will take those reps as well, because we will offer them the position to be a leader or manager if they never were offered that.
We will help. Even the word take, like you said, it's almost like I'm gonna take somebody's car. Like, these are people, right?
100%.
We're gonna help them get to that level. Like, it's the 5 levels of leadership, right? Having the position, having the relationship, helping them with the production, and then developing the people. I feel like most people in solar stop at level 3. They stop at the level of production. They don't develop people and help them get to the next level. They don't help them get to where they want to go. And then to reach the pinnacle, you have to have developed enough people and created enough impact to where people know who you are.
Yes.
And the brand that you have. One of our partners that we work with, he's, I'd say, gotten to that pinnacle level of leadership where he's helped enough people and he has a legitimate brand in the industry. And then you can recruit off of your brand and people know you. And it's so easy to lose your brand too. So I think what you're saying is super important. The thing I would say that's really important when you're building your organization, and definitely in addition to that, because you have to have that vision. I think that's something that you do really well of casting that vision, is having standards and expectations and creating a culture of excellence within the company. So like making sure that people are doing the right things, making sure people aren't doing bad business. Or like when I was in a software company, the best software companies I worked at, people would work late into the evening. They didn't mind working hard, doing extra work, like taking stuff on. You know, a company's dying. John Maxwell, I listen to him. He always says, like, if you go to like their office at like 4:59, everybody's packing up their papers, they're tying their shoes real tight, they're getting ready to run out the door because they're like,
hilarious.
It's 4 minutes at 5 o'clock. He says it's so funny. Look him up on YouTube. Listen to him say that. Anyone that's watching this, it's so funny.
That's
He's
hilarious.
such a good storyteller. And it's true. I worked at places like that.
That was the government, any government job. Or when we did an internship in DC, I remember that people were lacing up at like 4:30. I was lacing up at the internship.
Yeah.
Out the door.
Me too, if I could. I was actually I was working for someone that ruled it like an iron thumb, so I was not lacing up at 4:30.
That's hilarious.
But I would have been lacing up at 4:30 if I could have been. That lady was working hard, man. She was all about it. You remember her? Yeah. Shout out to her, Mary Lynn. But anyways, to make a long story short, having a culture and having a standard in this industry, a mistake that I think I've made and we've made together is in the past when we started, we would take anybody. We would take any volume, especially when we left the big company we were a part of and split off and did our own thing. We worked with anyone. And we had heard bad things about certain people. You want to give people the benefit of a doubt to an extent, but we kind of looked the other way a little bit with people's ethics, with what people were doing in business and just their character overall. Like, not saying 100%. That just like they were doing bad business, but like they just weren't the best kind of people. And I feel like it caught up with us every time. And also, even you say all the time too, not only that, but when you're recruiting people, and I'd love if you could touch upon this, like being able to posture up and not seeming desperate.
100%. Yeah.
If you want to talk about that.
It's true. When we first were in the building stages, anyone that could freaking knock a door when it comes to solar or wanted to be part of the company could be part of the company, because we said, hey, more people, more sales, more profits. That was the thought process. But then we started seeing these bad eggs, just like you said, and we were willing to just bring people on board. And, as we grew through leadership, we started to posture up and say, hey, listen, if you're coming on board, I've heard X, Y, Z, in the past. If I've heard something, I'm not going to attack them, or we're going to have a compliance watch to make sure that you don't do this, or this doesn't occur, or bad business doesn't happen. So, posturing up in a sense is sometimes people are so desperate for business is that they will, if you're in a conversation with someone, you say, I'll do anything for you to join our team or company or this or that. Sometimes it comes across in not the best way. And then it creates not the best relationship with them through the longevity of your relationship when something like that occurs. And it's important to kind of understand that, hey, when you first get started, especially with sales reps that we work with or we're, partnered with, we say, hey, listen, we're looking for XYZ specific type of volume. Yes, we can offer you this, but yes, we need to see you do this. And we're willing to do this, and this, if you're willing to do this, and this. Not, hey, just come on board and we'll give you everything. We'll give the house. So yeah, how you recruit somebody is how you will deal with them for the life of them in your business.
That's true, man. We learned that the hard way. And also,
even if you baby them, you're going to be babying them and doing all project management.
And being their buddy. I think a mistake I've made in leadership is I used to be like people's buddies, and then I'll be the heavy sometimes. And when when you have like a more cool, relaxed relationship with people where it's just strictly professional and you have to be, I've always been professional when I give some sort of discipline. If there's a bad action, you don't curse people out, you don't yell at them, you don't disrespect them. But when you do like go from being like their buddy to like giving them any sort of critique or discipline, you become like the bad guy.
Oh, 100%.
They think you're a bad guy then. Whereas I've seen you've been more like, you've had relationships with them, but you don't get too close.
Yes.
There's always that level of respect and deference. Yeah, you go out to eat with them, but like the amount of time you spend with people too, it waters down the leadership.
Yeah.
It really does water down. And I've witnessed this firsthand.
100%,
I've witnessed this firsthand. And I've witnessed it firsthand when I've been on the other side of things and people have been mentoring me. Same thing, it waters down the leadership. You have to kind of live and learn and go through that. And in solar, sometimes it's a guy's industry. People want to be like your buddy and you want them to win, but it's a business at the end of the day. And you want to always treat them with respect. So I think another subtle art is like walking that fine line of respect and having a relationship, but it's not like a quote unquote a friendship. It's a business relationship.
Correct.
You can develop a friendship over time.
Yes.
With certain people and, sometimes more of the key leaders that are a little more in the inner circle. Every level within the circle, the like closer you are to like the key leadership, like the circle of information gets tighter. You can be a little bit more transparent with people, like not transparent in the sense of like, how do you make this money or that money, but more like your feelings and your emotions. You do need to guard that a little bit in business because people, everything you say goes into a piggy bank in the back of their mind, collecting data. You've said this many times, like we've been pissed off sometimes in the past, like when we used to work with different companies, like just a couple of years ago, I was like, man, this company's doing bang, 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 messing up. You're like, I'm just collecting data, collecting information. The moves that they would make, you didn't immediately react to it, but you just eventually had so much data. You're like, all right, I've built this case that this isn't the kind of people that I want to do business with. And you had so much data and you can bring up all that data.
100%. And it's not even about bringing it up. It's just
keeping
about
it to yourself.
Keeping it to yourself sometimes and just acting on it. Sometimes some people, crucial conversations are important. Exactly what you said is important, where if you're too close to people, you're too buddy-buddy, when it's time to have a strict conversation, hey, you didn't meet your quota this month and your pay scale is changing because you didn't meet your quota, they're going to feel some type of way because now they thought you were friends. Or, hey, listen, this complaint came because of this sale or this compliance thing. We need you to go fix this. This is very serious. Hey, now they're going to feel a little upset because, hey, I thought we were boys. I thought we were good and this and that. We're boys, but you can't do illegal business So I personally, like leadership, I'd like to build friendships with specific people or people as we see them the longer that they're staying here with us. But, giving too much time, it does water down leadership. You're not excited to see Coca-Cola if there's Coca-Cola in your house 24/7. We don't keep Coca-Cola. We don't keep soda in our house. So once in a blue moon, if I have a Diet Coke, it tastes good. I'm excited. It's cool. It's in front of me. But if it's always in front of me, it's not.
They'll respect a call from Hersh because they're not getting a call every single day.
Yes.
And you train most people in a group setting, and the 20% of people you work with closer one-on-one.
Yep.
We learned that from network marketing. Network marketing, I'll tell you, like to wrap up this episode, any of these kind of team-based, sales-based businesses, they really teach you a lot in that regard. We learned so much from a previous company we were in. I didn't make big money in that business, but man, it was like a PhD in leadership. Yes. It taught me 8-9 figures worth of value.
When you're recruiting and you're building and let's say you're hiring, right? There's a difference between homegrown, a lot of people say homegrown talent, and then there's a difference between getting talent that's already experienced in skills and leadership and stuff like that. So, I mean, what does homegrown mean if you guys are thinking, what's the definition of the two? Homegrown is someone that either has no experience or very little experience, and you yourself are mentoring and training and teaching them everything that they know. Could be someone right off of Indeed with no experience in whichever business you're at, and then, or right out of college. And then the other one, or right out of jail. It doesn't even have to be college. And then the other one here is the leader that has a resume of success, that has, accolades, that has the stars and the stripes, that has, things that they've done, the veteran, right? And then filling the role. So let's talk about it. Let's see what the advantages are, what the disadvantages are, just so people can understand.
So the advantages of someone that's established is that they're plug and play.
Yep.
They're coming with existing experience, existing pedigree. You know what they're going to bring to the table. It's more predictable.
Yes.
The volume you're going to get from that person, you pretty much know what the upside is. You know what the potential is. You also know what their personality is and kind of their challenges or pitfalls because you've probably heard about it from other people in the industry, and they don't really need your guidance or teaching as much.
Yes.
So it's faster. The disadvantage is what's fast doesn't always last.
Correct.
What comes easy doesn't always stay. If they typically, to get people like that, sometimes it's for leadership. A lot of times it's for compensation or growth. Yeah. Most often when we've recruited people that have had experience, it's because we've given them better compensation or better growth.
Correct.
If they leave for comp, they'll leave you for comp.
Correct.
If someone comes for comp, they'll leave for comp. Because when I was in software sales, I always went wherever who was paying me the most. I was like a hired gun. It was like whoever's going to pay me the most is what I'm going to sell for.
Yes.
And a lot of people are like that. We've run to many people. They're not bad people, but they're just all about the paper.
If you're in a job in a W-2 environment, they say every 3 years our age. Now it's 2, by the way. It used to be.
Oh, really? It's every 2 now?
Every 3 to 4 when we came out of college. Like, every 3 to 4 you get a new job. So you move up the ladder. You get a new job because you use the experience, leverage it, get higher pay. Use the experience, leverage it, get higher pay. So that's the same experience in entrepreneurship and business building that you're talking about. Is we get somebody that's already experienced. That's great. They'll be here, but sometimes they're not here to last. And the margin that you make on that person is less as well. Like
100%. They produce more. Yep. They also have higher expectations typically. They're usually, sometimes you'll run into divas, people that are top producers that have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and you don't have influence over them because you weren't the one that impacted their life and taught them how to win. The person who originally taught them how to knock doors, how to win, how to close, that person's forever engraved as a superstar in their mind.
Or how to sell real estate, sell insurance.
If you can recruit a top hitter from a relationship you have with a leader who once mentored them in the past, that's a play.
Yes.
Like if you have a leader you're working with and they mentored this top producer at another company a long time ago and they can bring him back, they'll always have respect and deference for that person.
Correct.
Kind of like our one friend named Jason that's super successful. Like I always will have respect and deference for him because he mentored us a lot in business and just the success 100%. That he's had, or just different. There's other people as well, people that I know from my software career that like this guy, Sam, I used to work for, very successful guy. Like if he called me and said he had something cooking, I would take a look at it because I have a lot of respect for him.
Absolutely.
Just like we can use our leadership and network to have them find those types of heavy hitters.
Correct.
But the challenges are a lot of times they'll leave for the same reasons that they come.
Correct.
The homegrown people, if you want to maybe talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages there.
100%. This is something that I would say is I've done this multiple times in multiple businesses, and it's here to stay.
You built a whole business around it in insurance.
100%. So in insurance, for example, I didn't know crap. Took me a year to learn insurance. First 6 months, I didn't make any money, like I said before, $5,000 to make in my first 6 months. Then I learned how to make money in insurance, and I taught somebody else. I met someone at the temple. They say, hey, we want to learn what you're doing. Can we learn? Can you teach us? And can we make money? Sure. Took them to 25 appointments in home. Watch me close 25 of these appointments. And I'm going to close your friends and family. You can watch me close 25 that I'm just going on a daily basis. I was taking 3 appointments a day, 3 appointments a day, 3 appointments a day. They watch me close. Then when they get an appointment, I said, I'll go with you. So it's like I do, you watch. Then it's we do together. Then it's you do, I watch. And then, if it's continued leadership, then it's you do, you teach. But what I'm here to say with the homegrown is when you help someone who never knew how to fish, you teach a man how to fish, and, you taught them a skill set for a lifetime, they will be grateful for you. They'll be grateful. It'll create a different type of bond. It'll create a long-term bond. And if they do move on, and your time with them in your business is longer. If we took a little sand thing and we kept it like this, the sand would trickle down very, very slowly with someone that you've homegrown, in comparison to the sand trickling down when a top leader jumps into your company, because they'll jump in and they'll jump out. So that homegrown aspect is they will be with you for longer. Even if they move on or they're doing good things, there's mutual respect and say, dude, I'm very happy for you. I'm happy you're moving on. I'm happy you're going there and doing this and winning. I want you to win. Our goal with 100 Mil is to help over 100 million people live a better life. So if I could teach this guy something, he learned a great skill set, he moved on and he's doing it in the same industry or a different industry and he's executing and winning, I'm very happy that I was part of that.
100%.
You had people from your solar program 10 years ago that learned a skill set at that summer program and are applying it to insurance or applying it to network marketing and are insanely successful, but somebody impacted them at that program. And that's what's helped them get to where they are today.
Oh, yeah. There's this guy named Mike Rogers, who was our first regional. So shout out to Mike if he watches the podcast. That was great. Amazing guy, Josh Hatch, who was the VP of sales. Now he owns a solar company, I think, called Harbor Solar. I remember he was the big VP, came in, like he gave a big rousing speech. I respected those people. Yes. And it's crazy. One of the partners that we work with today, we were both knocking doors together that summer in 2014.
That's crazy.
So those relationships do last, the people that you run into and that you have developed. And what I like about the homegrown aspect is that loyalty.
Correct.
That, and also the lower maintenance, because you get to a point eventually in business, everyone's personality is different. For me, I love making money, but I want there to be a level of respect.
Correct.
I'm not like desperate to make an override.
100%.
If I don't like the person that I'm working with and there's not a mutual level of respect, I don't care about how many sales that you're doing. I can be replaced. You can be replaced. 100 Mil can be replaced. An installer can be replaced. Any sales rep can be replaced as well.
Absolutely.
It's not always a fit.
No.
The people that are homegrown usually have more respect and deference, and they're usually more grateful.
Correct.
And like they may not produce as much, but there's like, I look at it as like a chart. How much does someone produce and how many complaints am I going to have to hear?
Correct. Well, sometimes it's not even complaints, but I totally understand exactly what you're saying, is because the person with this experience has a specific expectation. If those expectations aren't always met, they're quick to jump and quick to find extra pay or quick to this, and they aren't with you for the long haul. They're there for what's best for them, and everyone is on both sides. You know, that other homegrown side. Exactly. This homegrown side, you were talking about advantages. I mean, they're here for a long time. They're here for a while. They're grateful. They're happy. You've taught them how to make six figures. Let's say you've taught them how to make multiple.
Part of their testimonial forever.
100%. And then what is the disadvantages if we get into that type of thing is, I mean, and another advantage is you'd probably make a higher margin on that type of person because, again, you've homegrown and led them and you've taught them in the industry.
They're a little less experienced, command a little less in the market.
And they're working their way up to make more and more.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I mean, now what's the other side is there's a lot of time commitment in the beginning with these types of people because they either don't know the industry at all, they've never sold in any kind of sales, insurance, and whatever. I had to take that girl out to 25 appointments. I know most people in solar wouldn't have someone sit on 25 appointments with them and then go on 5 of their appointments, help them close, and let them keep 100% of the commission. That's literally what I did as a leader. That's what we did.
People don't ever want to do that in solar. They
100%.
always, we would remember these people, we would get started, some of the guys that are on our team, and you'll know who you're talking about if you're hearing this. Guys in these other states where they brought their friends and family, we let them keep all the comp. We made an override, but we didn't try to 50-50 the deal. A lot of people always want to 50-50 the deal. And remember 100%. This one dude, he said, I knew you guys were real people when you didn't try and take half the deal because I know you're making a spread on top. And I'm fine with that. Yeah. Because you're adding value. But he would have probably thought of it as a little greedy if we were trying to double dip and take half. And for a family member, a lay down, they wanted to buy solar from him. He deserves the compensation.
Exactly.
And when you build with integrity like that, especially people that are homegrown, you develop amazing relationships and you develop a sticky foundation.